Alright. You me start off?
I mean, you're supposed to start off
Yeah, I've,
because
I've heard I've heard either or start off, so I was just wondering. But
no.
hmm?
Do you have like arguments or anything you want to present?
Yeah, do you have a problem with the cosmological argument?
The Kalam,
No, the cosmological, not Kalam.
present it. Present the argument.
Okay. Argument for motion, causation, and contingency. Do you know what those are? Like each one of them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know.
Alright. So basically, what I'll just argue from the argument of motion, everything in the universe as we know it is changing or it's moving, and we know that nothing can change or move by itself unless that there is something that is moving or changing it. And something is dependent on another for its motion. So basically, by this, something needs to be everything, and since everything needs a move on, you can't have infinite regress, then logically you need an unmoved mover, and that would just be God.
Okay. Um. Okay. So the unmoved mover. Okay. So okay, I'm just gonna give like a. I'm just gonna give kind of like a PSR to kind of address that. You could say it can be God, but I could replace that and say the universe at its initial state is the unmoved mover because it has no explanation, and it's the thing that everything is a product of. That's the thing that initiated the movement.
What do you mean by the universe in its initial state?
The universe in its initial state, like just space, just empty space. That's the universe in its initial state. There's no
Okay,
explanation
so
for it.
how, if you're gonna replace that by God, then how the hell would the universe of just empty space start to move anything if it contains nothing?
The, from the space, which is the initial state of the universe, come the virtual particles and the quantum fluctuations, and the matter came from that. And the
So
thing
you're just
about
saying like the matter just like appeared out of nowhere?
not a no, the matter is a product of the virtual particles and the quantum fluctuations. But the thing is, virtual particles they don't have a sufficient reason for popping up. They can have a reason for popping up, but we just don't know it yet. So since I don't want to just deny the causal principle, I just want to say that yeah, from the empty space from the universe at its initial state, you get the virtual particles, and from that the quantum fluctuation happens. Then you have
Well,
the matter.
think about it this way: if we have an empty space, virtual particles aren't just gonna pop out of nowhere. Someone would have to have created those virtual particles in order to at least get the start of the universe. If that's what you're arguing.
I hold the universe to be a brute fact. The universe at its initial state, because listen, the universe at its initial state has no explanation at all. Everything is just a product off of that. And also about virtual
So you're
particles,
saying the universe, like, you mean no explanation to how it was created?
no, there's no explanation. It would okay. You're presupposing a creation. I don't believe it was created. First of all,
Okay, so like, what do you think you're just like always there?
yeah, the universe at its initial state. Yeah. That's what I would say. I mean, some philosophers like Graham Uppy would say that the initial state, which is the necessary thing, can begin to exist, but that just causes problems. So I just hold it to just be a brute fact, and everything is just a product of that initial state. Because okay, let me put it like this, right? This is not really about the argument for motion, but this is gonna bring up contingencies too. So
Mm-hmm.
everything that's contingent has an explanation, right? Whatever doesn't have an explanation is necessary. Take it at that. The universe at its initial state, which in our model is empty space, has no explanation. So that's the necessary thing.
Okay, so you're saying the
That
universe is empty space, and the universe just had always existed, and
yeah,
during
in
its
my
initial
model, yeah, the
state,
universe.
virtual what are virtual particles? Could you?
Uh, that dives into like quantum physics and stuff. But I mean, virtual particles, they're just particles that pop in and out of existence. We don't really know the cause for it yet, but they pop in and out of it because virtual particles they're like
So
they
you're
break
saying,
special.
wait, so you're saying like, is the universe like a virtual particle? Like you think it's just popping in
No,
and
no,
out?
the universe is not, no, the universe
Okay.
is not a virtual particle. The virtual particles are a product of the empty space. You because we could just apply the
How?
PSR there. We could say the virtual part the reason for the for the virtual particles popping into existence is because of the universe at its initial state, which is empty space. But we can't really say that since we don't
That's what I'm
really.
confused on. If the universe is empty state and the virtual particles are a product of an empty space, a product usually comes from two things combining together or something coming from one thing. So I don't know. I can't see how something empty, like where nothing exists, and then particles just like pop out of nowhere. Seems like you're kind of
No,
like
it's not
arguing
nothing
infinite
because
regress in
no, it's
such a
not
sense.
nothing. No, it wouldn't be nothing because the space is
If
still
it's
there. And now,
if it's
listen,
empty space, then that means what do you is that just a void?
no, no, no. It's the universe at its initial state. It just is right because, like I said, it's a brute fact. There's no explanation for it as far as we know, and everything just a product of that. And got
The
I'm
initial
gonna just
proto-inflation
I'm
quantum
just
state of the universe is defined as a state of minimal excitation of the energy of space being provided that the potential energy of inflation. Wait,
is
where did you hear about? Like, could you like send me like an explanation of what it could be? Because I don't want to go off like the
about
wrong.
what could be what.
I don't want to go off like the wrong definition of what, like the universe in its initial state. Because I kind of want like more of an
No, wait.
understanding of it.
Okay. I mean, there's different. I mean, there's different things about the universe at its initial state. Like some philosophy, like there's this atheist called Graham Oppie. He just says the universe at its initial state. He doesn't really dive into it. But me and a couple but you have like a physicist like Sean Carroll who says the universe at its initial state is just space, and then from there you get the virtual particles, and then the cosmic inflation, and that's where the matter expands from into like everything we see today. But he has like a whole podcast on it where he talks about it. I could send it to you, but like you'd have to pay to listen to it. But basically, like, because I already brought up the principle of sufficient reason in my kind of like model to you. Everything that is contingent has an explanation. Whatever doesn't have an explanation is necessary. And in our model or my model, whatever, the universe at its initial state has no explanation. So I could hold that as the necessary brute fact.
Okay, well then God will just be like beyond explanation. Because I believe that like everything that consists within the universe is contingent, but the thing is about God is that he's just like above it all. He doesn't need like an explanation to create something. He doesn't need to be like contingent or anything of that sort. So he can make something that's just, I guess, in its initial state, as you claim.
I mean, you can say that, but you can say God is above explanation, but no, God grounds. I don't know. What are you trying to? I don't really
Because man,
understand what you're trying.
I argued, I started the argument of motion, and then you're saying that the universe in its
I'm saying
initial state.
I'm saying the thing that quote unquote starts off the motion can be we could have we can have something that quote unquote started off the motion in a naturalistic worldview. It doesn't have to be
That's the thing.
a supernatural being.
How does if a universe is an empty space, how does a universe start motion if those particles just appear by themselves, as you said? The universe isn't starting
Listen,
anything. I've been listening to what you're saying. You said you claimed yourself
okay, wait,
the particles just come out of nowhere as a product from it, but you never explained how the universe creates the particles or where those particles come from.
no, the universe doesn't. But
That's what I'm saying. How does
what I'm
that
saying is
start it?
virtual. Well, listen, virtual particles. We don't know that much about virtual particles, but we know that virtual particles pop in and out of existence, and they're indeterministic.
Okay, so that
So
means something's gonna have to start the movement for them to actually be able to pop in and out. It's not the universe. If the universe isn't
no,
making them pop in and out, then that means there's something else doing it, which would be God.
okay, no. You
But
just that's a God of the gods fallacy. You just inserting God in there because I already explained to you. The universe at its initial state is the necessary thing. In our model, we could just and I'm
Okay, wait,
more.
well, I never heard you say that. Could you prove to me that the universe at its initial state is a necessary thing? Like, are you
I
saying
just
necessary
well,
existence?
I just listen. Yeah, the universe at its initial state is necessary. Look, okay, you could look into, let's say, Graham Oppie, right? He debated William Lane Craig, etc. He holds this view also that the universe at its initial state is a necessary thing, because this is kind of like the principle of sufficient reason for that is that everything that is contingent, everything that has an explanation is contingent and not necessary. The universe at its initial state has no explanation. So it's the necessary thing.
Okay, let
You
me
can
let
hold.
me let me start going into the argument of contingency because it seems like we're kind of like leading on to there.
Okay, go into the argument of contingency.
Okay, so Aquinas states that everything in the universe is contingent, meaning nothing has a necessary existence. Everything that exists could not have existed, and it's perfectly possible that everything is could not have been. And as everything could have not existed, it also means that there was a time where nothing didn't exist at all. So therefore, your initial state of the universe couldn't have existed at all. Since we're going by that, let me continue on. I'm gonna keep writing my arguments down because I can't remember this shit. I'll follow up from right here. All right. So you don't believe that the universe is contingent, right? Or do you?
Um, Contingent.
Yeah. Do you believe the universe is contingent?
What do you mean by that?
Is the universe contingent? That's what I mean. I don't really know how to like put it in any other words except that.
Okay, hold up. Uh, shit. I think no, I don't. I don't hold that to be. Wait, can you? I don't hold that to be the case. But can you bring up like the? Cause you're talking about the contingency argument, right? Can you like put a syllogism for it so I can kind of like un- understand what you're trying to say? Like put like have like premises in the conclusion. Put it in some sort of syllogism.
Um. Okay. Us as human beings, we are contingent. Contingent beings rely on other beings for their existence. So let's just say the reason why we exist is because of our parents. The reason our parents exist is because of our grandparents. Does that make sense? That's why we're
Yeah,
contingent beings. Okay, that's what contingent means.
yeah, I know what contingent means, but I'm asking you to put the argument you're trying to formulate into like a syllogism, like premises and the conclusion,
Oh, you want me to type it out?
like premise one, premise two, and the conclusion. You feel me?
Okay, I'll type it out.
Hold up.
Premise one, I guess I'll just type it as argument of motion is gonna be my first premise. I'm gonna argue each one of these. Honestly, my whole entire premise is just a cosmological argument. So I mean, I don't know really why you want me to type it out because I haven't even got to the explain the full thing yet.
Uh,
Because after we get past contingency, I'm gonna argue the argument of causation.
okay. Mm,
So yeah, you said you don't believe that the universe is contingent, right?
no.
Okay. So you said the universe being there is just a brute fact.
Yeah, I hold it to be a brute fact because the universe at its initial state has no explanation. Like it couldn't. There's no
That's the
good enough.
all right. I need an
So
explanation of what the universe at its initial state is because you keep referencing it, and I'm trying to get like a full understanding of what it is. You just say that there's nothing there, and then you correlate that to what was it, virtual something, virtual matter or something like that. What was it?
yeah, hold on.
Because I'm still trying to understand, how does something come from where nothing exists? That doesn't make sense. And if you're saying they're popping in, that means they were already on the move in order to pop into the reality. So that means if they're popping in and out, that means someone already started the movement on that. So
Bro,
therefore, it can't be
no.
the universe. That's what I'm getting from this. You're not giving me like a better explanation to why the universe is causing these things to pop in and out. I asked you to prove, could you show me the universe is causing these things to move and such like that? But you're just saying it's just always been
I
there. Sure,
listen.
something
No,
could
first of
always
all,
be
no.
there. That
First
doesn't
of
mean
all,
it's the mover.
first of all, no. Bro, first of all, I said the virtual particles, right?
Okay.
They pop the reason they break. Okay, they break special relativity, right? So when special relativity breaks down, our view of causality breaks down along with it. So when that happens, it's like
Why does it
it's kind
cause
of
the special relativity to break down?
because okay, in quantum mechanics, right? Virtual particles, they're like faster than light. So when they pop in and out of existence, that breaks down special relativity. So like the like cause and effect gets messed up. So tell we can't really tell for sure what's happening there. But oh man,
All special relativity goes by is something like approaches light speed, time begins to slow down and stuff. And then like matter just starts to just how would just because these virtual particles are
okay,
supposedly
okay, okay. Wait,
hold up. What's the source that you're getting virtual particles from? Like, could you send me a definition?
virtual. I'm gonna send it to you.
Cool. And then also send me a reason to why
Okay,
initial
or
state like
I'll just send you this work by this philosopher about the initial state, so he can because he can formulate it better than me since he kind of like popularized this. I'll just send it to you so you can read it. Uh, okay.
and wouldn't that just kind of be like an appeal to authority because you're saying this guy said this?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying it's the truth, but he can explain it better than me. That's why I'm sending it to you.
Alright.
He can formulate it better. Yeah.
You said it's a philosopher.
Yeah, his name is Graham Oppie. I mean, he's had like debates and discussions with like, do you know any big Christian philosophers or no?
I
Like
know
theologians.
I know like one of them. I forgot his name.
Uh, yeah, he's had like conversations with like a lot of them. So I think it's about uh
Just a question: if the
okay,
universe,
cool. Okay,
if the universe were to disappear, what like right now, what do you think would happen?
okay, but I'm gonna send you like this kind of like it's kind of long, but kind of explains.
If the universe were to disappear right now, what do you think would happen?
There's nothing. I don't know.
You don't know what would happen.
Nope. Okay, cool.
If something has a necessary
I'm
existence,
gonna
then
just
it wouldn't be able to it wouldn't be able to disappear.
okay. I mean, okay.
So it kind of confuses me. And I was saying you don't know. I don't. I still don't believe this necessary existence for this universe. I'll just wait for your
Okay, okay.
explanation.
Well, I just feel like you have to look into like more.
Did you send it in
Okay.
scans or are you
No,
sending it
I'm just
in?
sending you like I'm sending you a DM.
Okay.
It's just a dude explaining how like his the thing about the initial state compares to like the view of God as a necessary thing. because this dives into like philosophy and stuff. So it's like
How long's the
if you don't
video?
really,
Because I'm not trying to sit through like
it's not
anything.
a video. No, it's just a part. So it's like if you don't really understand philosophy, it's hard to understand.
Okay, before I read that, I'm gonna bring up this one thing of Leibniz, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
I know it's cosmological argument.
Yeah, for his just principle of sufficient reasoning.
Yep. Yeah, I know the PSR. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just like
But
argue that since he says that like everything that we see in the universe has like a specific reason to why it exists, and nothing is its own reason to exist, and we can't have a universe if everything relies on something else for its reason. So in order for that to come together, there would have to be a necessary being, and that'll be God. So I don't see how a universe could create itself.
okay, okay. Cool. The thing about the sufficient reason is that like since you know how about a virtual particles, right? Since we don't really know what the because I'm gonna try to kind of explain it. We don't really know what the exact reason for them popping into existence
What do you
is.
mean?
I'm saying we like scientists just don't know the exact reason for them popping into existence, right?
No, I'm saying like
So
what's them? Like you mean like the universes?
no. I'm talking about virtual particles, for example, right? Scientists don't know like the reason why they kind of like pop into existence. So the thing is, theists, because some atheists will say that breaks the law of sufficient reason, but the theists can, because that's not a. They could say the virtual particles pop up from previous energy or whatever, right? But that's not a sufficient reason. But then theists could just say the weak PSR. It's not a sufficient reason, but it's still a reason. But that kind of breaks the principle of sufficient reason. But what you could also use the weak principle of sufficient reason to say that those things, the reason for those things popping into existence is the universe at its initial state. We may not know what exactly makes them pop into existence. That's why it's called the weak principle of sufficient reason. But you can't hold a strong PSR just because of that. So that kind of breaks down the argument. But have you read what I sent you yet?
I'm reading it right now.
It just gives you like a kind of like a breakdown on the whole initial state versus God thing. Okay, I'm gonna send this other thing to. Yeah, because I hold like a naturalistic view to this, and 'cause if you, it says like,
Why the universe has the initial properties that it does rather than. So it's basically every possible world begins with an initial state of the universe.
and then
Okay,
read
so
the
listen,
second one.
listen. What this whole entire thing is saying is not what I'm saying. People, this is saying, okay, theists believe God created the worlds, but in this case, he's saying no, the worlds came from the universe, and I'm saying God created the universe. I'm not talking about just worlds. This is just correlating to the universe creating the worlds, and the worlds coming from the universe.
Well,
And in here, theists are saying that God created the worlds, which is not what I'm saying.
no, theists are saying God is the necessary thing.
No.
Naturalists are just
Listen, on the theistic view, the entity in question is God. Every possible world begins with God, and then
yes,
that's what that's
that's
saying. Every
bro.
possible
That
world, and then it's saying the entity in question is the universe. Every possible world begins with an initial state of the universe.
yeah, that's the natural.
Earth is a
Listen,
world.
listen. That's the view that I hold. That's a naturalistic view. On the
You can
theistic,
that
bro,
doesn't go against anything I say because I'm arguing for the creation of the universe, not creation of worlds. What you
you don't
send me,
understand what a possible world is, bro. I think. Oh,
I don't know what a possible world has any relevance to doing because I'm arguing this is like the creation of the universe. I don't think the universe is
I
a
don't
world.
I don't hold to creation. I don't hold to creation. So I don't know how. I don't. This is just not gonna go anywhere because I don't hold to the creation of the
No, but you're
universe.
saying that the universe is a necessary existence.
Yeah, it's a necessary existence. It's necessary. There's no explanation for the universe at its initial state.
The universe, I mean, from what you sent me, it basically says the universe can be a necessary existence for worlds, but it's not necessary existence because if God, or I'm not gonna say God, if the universe disappeared right now, okay, the universe, the galaxies, everything is gone. That doesn't mean that like everything that to ever exist would be gone because we know that there are other universes out there. So that means that's just one universe
We
down.
don't know. We don't know.
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure we
now you're
know.
talking.
I'm pretty sure
Now
we
you're
know.
talking about. Okay, now you're talking about the multiverse, and we we just don't know enough about that to really dive into it. But wait, I remember you mentioned something about the infinite regress, right?
Yeah, I don't believe in the infinite regress.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really hold to that either. If, but I mean, you could kind of like
What's the second
be.
screenshot explaining?
It's just talking about how like the naturalistic point of view says that global causality, global causal reality is the.
This is talking.
It,
Yeah, again, this is talking about worlds. When it means global, it's talking about
no,
worlds.
no, bro. Okay, but let me. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that. But let me talk about the infinite regress thing. You could hold to infinite regress if, like, let's say, if you hold to the multiverse theory, it's just gonna be a bunch of universes just popping in and out. So I don't hold to infinite regress, but some atheists don't see a problem with it just because of the possibility that there might be a multiverse out there, and it's just a bunch of universes past what we know. But this screenshot, it's just saying, right? Global causal reality is the causal evolution of an entirely natural, necessarily existence entity, the universe or the multiverse or what have you. The initial global cause is the initial state of the universe. All global causal states are causal states of the universe. So basically, all the that all causation basically comes from that. That's what the comes from the initial state.
Both of you suppose that there is a contingent initial global causal state involving at least one necessarily existent entity. Both views suppose that the initial global causal state is the global causal state that has no cause. Both views also suppose that the only further causal state that have no cause are initial states of entities that belong to and or are substates of the initial global cause state. One view is naturalistic. This view says that the global causal reality is the causal evolution of an entirely natural, necessarily existent entity, the universe or the multiverse or what you have. The initial global causal state is the initial state of the universe. The initial global is the initial state of the universe. All so the global cause comes from the universe. All right. Okay,
Wait, actually,
the initial global. Let me.
well, okay. So I remember what I said about contingency, and no, I think just rejecting contingency. I could just see it's just contingent on the initial state or what have you. But like, I mean, I don't know, dude.
All
Are
right,
you gonna like?
I'll steal man contingency for now, because I'm gonna like finish my whole entire like premise. I'm gonna go down to the argument of causation, if that's fine. I can come back on this
Okay, cool.
contingency shit. All right. Argument from causation. In our world, everything has a course of cause and effect because it's fundamental laws of physics. We can also see that in our universe that nothing is the cause of itself. Everything needs to come from something beyond itself to be its cause. And the question, I guess, everybody's wondering, and I'm basically arguing, where did the universe come from and what caused it? Aquinas already rejected the idea of infinite regress. We can get into that if you really want to, but you said you're not really like fully confident on it, so I don't think we need to. And we can't just have an infinite chain of causes as there will be no first cause to start the chain. So what we need is an uncaused cause, something that doesn't need a cause but is responsible for causing everything else in reality. And that would be God. So yeah, even if you were to argue infinite regress, which we can get into infinite regress, there'd be like no point of it. There can't be like no infinite chain because there'd just be like no start. So that's why I'm saying God is the start of it. That's why the universe is, if the universe has always been there as you claim, I don't see a God or a universe being able to just summon all of these things, because you still haven't like proven to me or given me
It's not.
a real reason, because we've kind of gone into the whole, what was it, virtual particles, all this other talk, all the evidence you showed me is just referring
Okay,
to global and worlds and stuff, and I'm not talking about worlds, I'm talking about the universe itself. I still don't see any evidence that you've really given me that shows that the
but
universe is, what's it called, a necessary existence, and how it can
bro,
create all these other things, because
bro,
all you've said is just virtual particles, and I showed you,
no, that,
I asked you to
listen,
show me,
bro,
can you give me a reason to why the universe is, what's it called, making these virtual
necessary?
particles, and you
No,
just said
no.
they just pop in, and when they pop in, when something
Oh,
pops in, that means it's already been in motion, that means something caused the
bro.
motion before it, and you never got
Ugh.
past that you never got past that point, or you
Okay,
never
go.
like, what's it
Okay, go.
called,
I said, listen, listen.
contested
I
it.
said we don't. Okay, just don't. Okay, just throw the whole virtual particle. About the virtual particles. I said we don't know. It's indeterministic. We don't know. We don't know enough about virtual particles yet to say
Okay, so why argue
what.
it? Because what you gave me for arguing it, it seemed like I just like got past it like really easily. Like that argument of
Wait,
virtual
what?
particles made no
No.
sense.
First of all, I already told you why the universal initial state is necessary, and you still
Yeah,
don't
you no
understand
no
that.
no. You
No,
gave you
listen,
gave
I
me the
gave you.
context for
No, I gave you a
worlds.
PSR. Well, let me talk. I gave you a PSR. I said everything that is okay. I gave you a PSR, right? I said everything that is contingent has an explanation. The universe at its initial state has no explanation, so it's necessary. You haven't
Is the
said anything
universe in
about
its initial state anymore?
no. The initial state is still in my model. I hold the initial state to just be space or yeah, just empty space. That's the
Okay,
universe
we
that is.
were okay.
Everything is a.
Our universe right now is not an initial state.
Oh my.
It's not empty space.
Everything was a product of the. Everything was a part of the initial.
How the fuck does you haven't given me a reason to how particles or anything comes from something that is nothing. You're saying
Bro,
that empty space, that means nothing. All right, empty space. What do you mean? Like nothing exists? It's just space, just
just
empty.
space. Yeah, I just
No stars, nothing.
whole space, and everything was a product of that, and then everything is
What do you
contingent
mean everything
upon
was a
that.
part of that?
It's bro, it's contingent upon that. I don't know what you don't understand. Because should I
No,
like?
because you're saying empty space, no stars, nothing, empty space. You're just saying, okay, so if you're not using virtual particles, you can kind of give a better explanation now. So where did what start? How did the universe create one thing, push it to start movement? If we're going to the argument of motion, we're going to go part by part here. So from what you're saying, empty space, nothing. Where did the first particle come from?
Bro, the first particle, virtual particles just pop in and out of
You said you're
existence.
dropping.
Like
You said you're dropping virtual particles. So we're on a new thing.
you brought up particles. What are you talking? I have to go back to virtual particles
Okay,
because
so
that
then,
leads
all
to
right,
the
all
matter.
right. So you're completely dropping virtual particles. I'm gonna let you explain everything. So where did
Okay,
everything
listen.
start?
Okay. You had the universe at its initial state, right? In my model, I hold that to be space or just empty space or what have you, right? And then from that, you have and then from the empty space, you have the virtual particles that pop in and out of
But
existence.
you said you're dropping virtual particles. So why do you keep bringing it back up?
Because I need to measure the virtual particles to get to the matter, then the cosmic inflation.
But if you're dropping virtual
And then,
particles, like you just said, then that means I guess you have no argument
okay,
because you
okay,
said
I'm
you're
gonna
just
bring
gonna
back,
drop it.
bro. I said I was gonna drop it because you weren't understanding what virtual particles are. Okay,
Because you've
can I
never
send you like?
you've never given me like
Can
a.
I send you an
I
article?
asked you for definitions of virtual particles like 3 times now, and you haven't sent me anything. So of course I don't fucking understand.
Bro, okay, you need to calm down. And
No,
second
it's
of
just
all, I'm
kind of
gonna send you,
it's irritating at this point.
bro. You don't listen. You don't understand philosophy. I explained to you why the universe at its initial
Send me a
state is
definition of
necessary.
virtual particles, and then you can go on your argument from there. This is the 5th time I'm
Okay, I'm gonna
asking.
an article talking about virtual
I
particles,
don't want to hear
right?
anything else. Just send me something that explains it, because now
Okay.
I'm getting irritated.
What's good, Baka?
Hello.
Are you guys debating theology?
Mm-hmm.
Who has which side?
I'm Thiest.
Let me guess, he's atheist.
No shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a strong atheist though. So I mean,
Then I can debate you. You'll take the theist side. I'll take the atheist side. Doesn't matter.
I mean, okay, come join my server. We can do it there.
I'm already in your server. I don't want to debate in your server though.
Nigga, what's the point of going into your server to debate it when you could just be in here? That's just like unnecessary moving.
Yeah. Okay.
She want that on the baby.
Man.
I debate you. I'm automatically stomping you. Whammy.
Tempest, have you heard this fucking virtual particles argument before?
No, never. Nobody has ever used it before.
Yeah, it's first time hearing this shit. It makes maybe there's something big that he's leaving out that's making everything come together. But as far as I know, this argument's ass.
I mean,
I'm not holding
virtual particles to be God or anything.
How do particles?
What you're saying is a fucking initial state universe in virtual particles, and I want to know what virtual particles is, and then I want you to.
Baka. He mentioned an initial state universe.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing.
I asked him to explain what it is, and I haven't really gotten a full explanation, but I'll handle it. I already know. Just shit's unclear, man. I'm just gonna get a clear understanding of everything because I've searched up initial state universe, nigga. Nothing like definitive has came up like initial state.
I mean, bro, I sent you the thing of Oppie explaining what he means.
Yeah, and basically what that explained was the initial state universe is the causes of worlds referring to Earth, I guess Jupiter, and all that other bullshit, nigga. I'm talking about the universe.
Listen. Okay, bro, listen.
Just finish grabbing your scan. I don't want to move on to another point. I don't need no shotguns. Just go back to your.
I was about to explain something, right?
Explain.
By world, it means all possible worlds, like all possible universes or anything.
Nigga, worlds does not correlate to universe.
Bro.
Okay, wait. All right, listen. What should I call you? Should I call you Annie or Wanni? What the fuck you want me to call you?
But I was trying to say, right?
All right, Annie, nigga. All right, number one, finish grabbing that scan that you've been looking for the past 5 minutes now. After that, I want you to explain to me how worlds correlates to universes. And then, okay, you sent it?
Oh.
Let's see.
Okay, what
source is this from? Like, send me like the website. I could go to it myself. I don't need no like Wikipedia or no Forbes. Fucking Reddit or whatever the hell bullshit. Just send me the link.
All right, bro. You need to realize. Let's just have a conversation about this, right?
Because a debate is a conversation.
But Forbes. It's getting too hostile. Because I'm just trying to. Okay, let's say in philosophy of religion, right? When somebody's talking about like what I'm gonna call it, possible worlds, even when theists use it, they mean like all possible things that can happen, like in all.
No, are you retarded? Theists don't use possible worlds.
Yes, they do. They do. Wait. Okay, Tempest. Do you know about Robert Koons? He mentions possible worlds in his works. What are you talking about?
Okay. Do I look like Robert Koons to you?
He's like one of the best theologians. So I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Okay. Well, listen. Wait, Wanni, this debate's with me. All right. Go back to what you were saying.
Cause, bro, like.
The particles that temporarily exist in the quantum vacuum themselves might be virtual, but their effects on matter or radiation is very real. So wait, what's this whole entire thing explaining? Let me see the screenshot you sent.
But yeah,
when you have particles / antiparticle pairs present in empty space, you might think that they simply just pop up into existence, live for a while, then re-annihilate and go back into nothingness. In empty space with no external fields, this is true. So,
listen,
this just seems like infinite regress.
It's not infinite regress because it's all contingent upon empty space. What don't you understand? I literally explained it to you. And the article also mentions empty space. When I
You
mention
might,
matter,
you might simply
because listen,
listen. No, I'm gonna
because
read
bro,
this. I'm gonna read the sentence to you. You might
wait,
simply think
okay,
that
just
they
listen to
pop into existence, live for a while, then
yes,
re-annihilate, and they continuously do that. That is infinite regress for the virtual particles. They just come
bro.
in and disappear.
What?
Come in.
Oh,
It seems
bro,
like an infinite cycle. That's what you're
that's the
saying.
point of they're contingent upon empty space. That's not an infinite regress. What don't you understand? And also,
Prove
when
to
I
me
mentioned
that this empty space created these particles.
bro,
It just says that they pop in. It doesn't say that the
but
universe
they pop in
created
from the
it.
empty space. It's from the empty space. Virtual particles pop in and out of empty space.
Just because it
That's
popped
the thing
into
that
an
they're contingent
nigga, all right,
upon.
I walk into an empty home that has nothing inside, nigga. That doesn't fucking mean
Yo,
the house created me.
you're talking, bro. You're just, I don't know what you're talking about because they're contingent upon empty space. They pop in and out of existence and they disappear, and they affect the matter, and that leads into the matter, and then the cosmic inflation, and then the expansion. It's everything we see today. That's what I was trying to say all along, but you're not understanding. Like,
Contingent
just
means
go.
occurring or existing because of something, or dependent on that.
Contingent is the contingent is dependent. It wouldn't be an infinite regress because it'll all lead back to the
I gave
empty
you an
space.
analogy of what contingent was. I'm contingent, you're contingent, everybody here is contingent because of our parents. Okay?
Yeah,
So, our parents created us, that's why we're contingent on them. You never showed me why this goddamn initial universe created these particles. It just says they pop in. It doesn't say anything of
out from the. I could bite the bullet and say this. They're just popping in out from the energy that was there, and they popping out of existence, and that's
Okay, so
a
then it's
product of the space. So I don't know what you're trying to, and it wouldn't be infinite regress.
huh?
Because
Okay, wait. If those are coming from the energy that already existed, that means number one, it's not an infinite or initial universe like how you're saying where nothing exists because there's previous energy there.
Yeah, but it's contingent upon the empty space, and also it wouldn't be a sufficient reason.
Okay, so then prove that the universe created that energy that was already there because you're giving two arguments. You're now saying that the virtual particles are contingent on the universe, and now this previous energy, the virtual energy is contingent on the previous energy that already consistent was inside the universe, which would mean that the initial universe is not contingent, is not necessary existence.
They pop in and out of the empty space, right?
Huh? Say what you said again.
Okay, hold up. Give me a minute. Okay, I said give me a minute.
Yeah, because I looked at what you said, nigga. I've been thinking that the whole time, but I'm like, how the fuck does a universe?
Bro, you're not really. Okay.
I'm not understanding because you're not giving me a full-on explanation. You're repeating the same shit, and I understand what you're saying, and it doesn't make sense. Particles that temporarily exist in the quantum vacuum might be virtual, but their effect, I already read that. One of these effects is when light propagates through a vacuum. If space is perfectly empty, it would move through that space unimpeded without bending, slowing, or breaking into multiple wavelengths. Applying an external magnetic field doesn't change this, as photons. That's not explaining shit. When you have an empty space, you might think, and then reuniting empty space. This is true. So it literally, your scan literally says you might think that they pop into existence, live for a while, then re-annihilate and go back into nothingness in empty space with no external fields. This is true. That's basically what never mind, whatever. Heisenberg energy time uncertainty principle applies. And so as long as the relevant conservative laws are still obeyed, this all happens. But when you apply a strong magnetic field, particles and antiparticles have opposite charges from one another. Particles and light passes. I mean, this doesn't really prove nothing.
I'm trying to fucking.
It's crazy how I still made contingency and we're back on contingency.
I'm losing multiple brain cells, but I mean, it's fine.
Loki's, I've never heard this argument in my life.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I know somebody that could kind of like he kind of brought up the model to me, and he could, I mean, explain it way better so you can understand it. But I mean, I don't.
I mean, I'm ready.
You're not using the model contingency argument. You're an atheist.
Shh, I'm ready to go to conclusions whenever you are.
Atheist.
Because I feel like I've won this debate. There's no fucking way this has been a 45-minute debate. There's no way.
I don't know, bro.
There's actually like no. I mean, I guess shit happens.
Okay, you're about to go to causation, right?
I already went to causation, and then we left causation and went back to contingency. So I mean, I guess we can go back to causation, even though you didn't really like contend anything that I said. But I mean, I'll like restate it, I guess, if you want to go back to it. In our world, everything is a course of cause and effect because of the fundamental law of physics. We can also see that in our universe, that nothing is the cause of itself. Everything needs something beyond itself to be its cause. Where did the universe come from? Since Aquinas has already rejected the idea of infinite regress, and I'm going to say this again, if you want to argue infinite regress, we can go to that point, but you said you don't want to you don't really believe in it, so I guess we're not going to go over it. And we can't just have an infinite chain of causes, as there will be no first cause to start the chain. So what we need is an uncaused cause, something that does not need a cause, but is responsible for causing everything else in reality, and that is what we know as God. That is what we know of as God. So, do you have any problems with that?
But I mean, I kind of do, but I don't want to reject the causal principle because it causes so much problems if I reject it. But like the reason I brought up before is how we don't. I could bring up the virtual particles again because we don't really know the cause for them. But I'm not gonna say nothing. I don't want to reject the causal principle.
God would be the fucking creator of virtual particles. Since going by what you said, they come into the universe, and I just explained that everything in the universe has something that's beyond itself to cause it. So God would just be the cause of the virtual particles. But I mean, I don't feel like getting into that. I feel like going to conclusions, if that's fine with you.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay. Who do you want someone to be a judge here? I don't really care who.
I mean, I don't care, to be honest.
All right, so do you want to go for your conclusion first since I started? You can state yours.
I mean, okay, so I'm just gonna conclude with this. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, okay. You started with the argument of motion. Okay, like I said earlier, I just hold the universe at its initial state, or just empty space to just be the necessary thing. Just because there's just no explanation as far as we know, so there wouldn't really be a need for a God there, and that's why I hold the view that I hold. And that's for the causation. Man, the virtual particles, we don't really know the exact cause for them coming into existence. So I'm skeptical on that part. And as for the principle of sufficient reason, again, we don't have a sufficient reason for them. And yeah, that's my position. Yeah, I'm just gonna conclude with that.
No, for the argument of motion, when you brought up like the initial universe, I asked you to explain, did the universe create the particles or give the particles some type of start motion? You didn't really give any proof to that. All you said was the virtual particles just popped up inside the universe, and I said if they pop up, that means they were already set in motion in order to actually go into there. So I really don't believe you got past the motion argument for motion. Causation, again, you brought up. I don't even think you contended causation really, like, at all.
Yeah,
It
because
was
I'm skeptical on that. So
Yeah, it was more so around contingency, which was, you just said that the initial universe created everything.
oh,
I asked for proof of like what initial universe was. You sent me two scans basically explaining
and then
that uh, the initial universe is the start of worlds, and I said worlds don't correlate to universes unless you could show me that, and that was just all referring to the world itself, nothing else. So I feel like this whole entire argument from like initial universes or whatnot, it was just kind of dumb. I've never heard that shit, and I hope I never hear it again, to be honest. But that's my
I mean,
conclusion.
you're gonna hear it again. If you get into philosophy and stuff, you're gonna hear initial state a lot. So, I mean, maybe I just didn't formulate it well because this is like my second debate. But, I mean,
But yeah,
wait, and that's for like the whole contingency thing, right? I remember I gave you kind of like the my kind of principle of sufficient reason and said everything that's contingent has an explanation.
yeah,
Kind of.
and I gave you an analogy for that.
Yeah, but okay, let me ask you this. What is the explanation for empty space for the universe at its initial state?
And God created it. I don't. You never give me a real reason to explain why this universe would be a necessary existence. So God just created it.
It's
He's just
necessary.
beyond
I mean,
it.
I just okay, dude, bro. I just gave you the. I mean, I kind of gave you my principle of sufficient reason as to why it would be necessary. It has
You
no
never send
explanation.
me anything that's stated. It's like, okay, what were you saying? Because my fucking
Okay, I
brain is
told you.
hurting.
Okay, so I'm gonna state it like this, right? Everything that is contingent has an explanation. The universe at its initial state, which in my model, I hold it to be empty space, has no explanation. It is the necessary thing. It is the root fact.
You're kind of like assuming initial state universe, because how would we know that? How would we know that it had like an initial state? Boy, is this debate over since we say the conclusions?
Yeah, we're just talking now. We're just talking. We're not debating.
All right, so I won.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.